to keep away because we don't know, according to we don't know.
This is going to be a complex operation in that sense, Akash. 40 to 50 people held in captivity by a bunch of between 5 to 7 terrorists. Give us the latest situation in terms of how the NSG and the other teams that are assisting the NSG commandos, how they plan to go about this.
Zaka, there are two things you can do in such a situation, and I think option one was used yesterday, last night at 2, 3 o'clock, when the NSG commandos and other elite forces arrived here. That's when you storm the building. And yes, you have a number of casualties. That's an acceptable risk that you take, and they went ahead and did that. But it seems that these guys were much better planned than just randomly storming. We know about those instances yesterday when they were looking at specific passports. They were trying to target people from distinct nationalities. So obviously that option one was used last night when you just storm in the building, whatever casualties you get, but get the building cleaned out. But these guys had an option two. The terrorists knew very well that the building would be stormed, and that is why it seems that they have bunkered themselves. Let's use the phrase that came into us from the sources. They have bunkered themselves in a particular area of the hotel. What area of the hotel, they are not telling us. But what we can obviously understand is it's on the leeway side, away from the seaside, sea-facing side of the hotel, where they are holding these people hostage. In all probability, that means that they might be being used as human shields, and that is what is preventing the elite forces from actually taking them out.
Right, Akash, stay with us. We'll just, play up that news for the benefit of our audience. That is believed that about 4 to 5 terrorists are inside the Taj Mahal Hotel, and 40 people are believed to be trapped inside the very luxurious Taj Mahal Hotel. This is a bit of news coming in, and their 2 army personnel have lost their life in that fierce encounter that is going on. Akash, I just wanted to ask you about one thing, that it's so clear that these terrorists were so well armed, everything was planned, and in some ways or the other they had also preempted as to what really will happen when they will take these people hostage, and that I'm sure must be a huge task of difficulty for the RAF and the NSG to gun down these terrorists and also to evacuate these 40 people safely.
That's the dilemma. It comes down to it, Avantika, doesn't it? How many lives are you willing to lose in order to take the terrorists out? Yesterday, that with commendable speed, the NSG was rushed in from Delhi and deployed here, and we saw that encounter taking place. Grenades exploding, fumes of smoke going off from the building of the Taj Mahal, from the dome of the Taj Mahal. Those fumes still going off. But having said that, there is only a certain degree of activity that you can do when you storm in a building. When you have militants well armed, and they can definitely shoot well, because let's not forget, they shot down Mr. Talkare. That's the biggest shock ever. So these guys are not random people who've been just given guns. They have been trained very well, because they can almost shoot with sniper-like accuracy. And perhaps that is why now there is the second phase of going slow that is taking place. Yesterday we saw the storming the building and trying to secure the building. Today, it's becoming evident that that strategy might have worked 80%, but definitely not 100%. So
are they also trying, Akash, are the NSG commandos or any of the teams there trying to establish some form of contact with either any of these 40 hostages who've been held in captivity, or with the people who've taken them into captivity, the terrorists?
One mustn't say it this way, but this is the blunt truth. The NSG commandos or the government might not want to interact too much with these Fidaiin attackers, because that is exactly the purpose of the Fidaiin attackers, isn't it? To garner as much of the international publicity. We're not talking about national, but international. Look at CNN, look at BBC. I can see crews of CNN and BBC standing right next to the crew of Headlines Today and Aajtak. That is the kind of international impact that this has, and that is exactly what it was. It went according to plan, didn't it? So I guess that is why you saw that storming taking place yesterday, because there is nothing to negotiate with Fidaiin attackers. They wanted the publicity, they got it. The only attempt that they are making is to get more of it, and as long as the...
Right, absolutely, Akash. The NSG along with the RAF are just clearly going in for the kill. There's no room for negotiations. But as you're speaking, Akash, if you could just, describe the scene right in front of you right now.
Okay, Avantika, I'll just quickly add one scene before that also. The scene of going from the airport to Taj. Bombay, Mumbai is completely deserted today. 9:30, 10:30. The city is bustling with activity at this point of time. It's completely deserted. Distances that took 2 hours are being covered in 30 minutes. That's the shock. Mumbai is not getting up on its feet and running to office today. That's the scene in Mumbai. What's the scene in front of the historic gateway of India and at the Taj? Well, I can see, as I stand in front of the Taj, there are multitudes of OB-vans, media personnel, onlookers standing. Everybody has been moved to a safe distance of about 500 meters. Smoke continues to billow out from right under the dome. Fortunately, the dome of the Taj is secured. Now and then, we can see police personnel rushing in and out. There is a lot of activity that is going on at the Taj. Police personnel are rushing in and out. Fire tenders at the same time, ironically, because perhaps it's such a historic building, fire tenders and firemen, at the risk of their own lives, are trying to extinguish that fire, because if that fire is not put out, that dome might just go, because let's not forget, this is a century-old building. Any protracted exposure to fire or shock will destroy certain portions of it. So that's the scene I can see pretty much in front of me, Avantika.
All right, Akash, thanks so much for getting us an update. And really, Zaka, it's such a tragedy to see the Taj Mahal Hotel in the state that it is in right now. It's an iconic building. It's such a heritage site. It's a tourist spot for so many people, you know, who come from outside. And that's what South Mumbai is all about, the gateway of India and the Taj Mahal Hotel. And it's so unfortunate. The death toll also is just going up. It's already reached 100. And we are getting more news of 40 people being trapped inside this hotel. I can just not even, describe in words as to the kind of sense of fear that they must be going through.
All right, clearly they are. They are clearly going through the worst nightmare of their lives, no doubt. But I want to play these pictures. This is from last night, just outside the Metro Cinema in Colaba. This is a police vehicle that's been hijacked by a bunch of 4 terrorists, and they're indiscriminately firing. In fact, no logical reason at all. They've fired at women and children. Some of the media personnel who are standing there and covering this event, they got injured in the process as well. Just random mayhem, indiscriminate firing. And this vehicle later got intercepted only at Girgaon Chowpatty, which is where 2 terrorists were gunned down. So clearly it shows the brazenness, the audacity with which this attack has taken place. In terms of casualty figures, the 93 serial blast still far outweighs this round of series of attacks, but it's for the sheer brazenness, the manner in which it was carried out, the audacity, almost cocking a snook at the entire political, governmental administration of Mumbai, the people of Mumbai. It really is almost like we can do anything and get away with it. That's the kind of message the terrorists were trying to send to the people of Mumbai and to the people who govern this wonderful, wonderful city. It's the worst attack in that sense the city has seen in terms of scale, in terms of manner, in terms of execution, in terms of brazenness and audacity.
Well, and Mumbai, that's so famous, you know, for the way it bounces back every time. This time, clearly, the damage is far too much. Well, we'll go straight now to what the BJP Prime Ministerial candidate, Mr. L.K. Advani, has to say. He is addressing a press conference. Let's listen in.
भारत में आतंकवाद आरंभ होने की बात से लेकर के